You're live. Hello.
Hello and welcome back to another VRSpies.
When you say welcome back, let's just clarify what that actually means. That means I messed up. I didn't press the button, and we've been streaming for the last 5 minutes, or at least thinking we are, and Caleb did the best show of his life. And we will never repeat that.
I mean, it was like Oscar-winning.
We will never,
never
repeat that. Forget it.
I have to be like in the middle of the screen right here. I realize. You guys don't even know. I was sitting here talking, thinking that I was having an audience. But so let's get right into it. We're talking about a few different things today. We're going to talk about the WCG, the World Cyber Games, the VR presence that we had. As well as some of the different fun experiences I had there, and maybe some VR things that happened this week. We don't have that much time, but lastly, we want to spill the tea a little bit, right? With
we do. We like a little bit of controversy.
Tea spilling.
Yeah, we love a bit of that.
A little bit of controversy.
Just a tiny bit.
Where do I sit?
No, you're really fine. You're fine where you are. Just sit comfortably, and I'll just adjust the camera angle.
Oh, you're.
In real time. Every time you shuffle around, I just move the camera around.
Modern technology.
Don't worry about me.
Work right here.
Yeah, there you go. No, sit where you are. That's fine. Okay. But do not move at all. Okay? Right. Great.
Excellent.
Please continue.
So good to see the audience here today. Thank you for coming by and seeing the stream. We are not only wanting to talk about the stuff that we have in our brains, but some maybe questions that you guys have we can jump to as well. So feel free to say some stuff in chat. We will try to keep on reading and paying attention.
Caleb, before you start your part, which was brilliant because we already heard it in the rehearsal, but there was it did remind me we didn't do the small YouTuber shout out, which before you joined, Don and I decided the other day.
Should be the beginning.
It should be at the beginning, and we also decided who it should be this week. VR Bug, and that sounds a bit contrived because VR Bug is actually watching.
And he's in the chat. He's in the chat,
But
right?
Bug, we actually decided to shout you out early on because well, that's 2 weeks in a row we've done people from the UK. So sorry about that. We're not.
Did you get his down payment?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, no.
That's controversial.
We're still going to wait for the check to clear.
Topical. No, he hasn't paid me yet, but he will. He will pay me in subs. Sorry.
They will all pay.
No, but I'll do a little VR Bug. Fantastic guy, lovely bloke. Lives about 20 miles down the road from me. Been to his house, lovely house as well, and his wife knits these lovely things. Just a lovely bunch of lovely people, and he has a hut in his back garden, and he runs his VR business from that, and he does a lot of streaming. He's just a generally nice bloke. So there you go. That's all I've got to say about it.
I'm already like, I'm completely won over by the idea that he's an actual human being.
Yeah, he really is a real.
We don't
person.
want these AI people taking over with their sub counts. So
no, absolutely not.
No, as long as Garbug's a real guy.
He's a real guy. He's a real legit guy, and yeah, just nice to see him on the stream today.
Come on.
And check is in the post. Oh, thanks, Bug. Check is in the post. That's good. All right, Caleb, over to you. Let's talk about the important stuff.
So on a positive note, I am dying to hear about the World Cyber Games. So
the World Cyber Games. Okay, so they had the Steve Aoki remix World Cyber Games song. You have to check it out. The Steve Aoki World Cyber Games, and it's about a 2-minute song. And basically, this thing was playing on repeat. So when you would walk into the venue, you would hear it. When you would, walk around the venue, you would hear it. When you would go to the bathroom, you would hear it. When you'd eat, you would just hear the song all the time. It was amazing, and I kind of just kept up my spirit of listening and being proactively pump fisting the whole time. So it was a great time. I even downloaded it on my phone, so anytime we were not at the venue, I could make sure all the contestants could hear it.
Nice.
It was just that was one of the so that was the best part about the whole event. No, everybody hates that song at this point. The security guards there, I can imagine, were just gonna go crazy. But so the World Cyber Games, they didn't have it for it was 2013 was the last time up until now. They had some issues politically or maybe internally. I really don't know the issues completely. I just know there was issues. So it came back, and this is the first year back. Not only was it huge, they had contestants from 34 countries, over 500 competitors, and I was very fortunate to be one of the few representing virtual reality, one of two in America representing virtual reality.
And this was the first time that they had virtual reality in it, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, the first time VR kind of was competitive since the last 6 years, but even so, they never had previously. Not only was VR a part of it, they kind of had new horizons. So they had like artificial intelligence that was battling back and forth. They even had people that were hooked up to motion simulators that were playing robots. So they were doing the robot controls and actually using real miniature robots to fight with their actual bodies. I really want to become a part of that. So I'm looking into it. Plus, if they put a little VR headset on the little robot, then you can just jump into it and you can actually be the robot. So yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's turning those video games into the real world, digital world, and mixing them together. That whole merge is pretty sweet. So yeah, as some people asked, where was it? It was Xi'an, China. This was in one of the older provinces. It was would have been the old city had anything else happened, I guess, in the old days. They had buildings that were thousands of years old. I was so fortunate to not only get to be in the competition area, but of course I got to go out and see some martial arts. I got to go to some of the restaurants. I even got to go out Chinese nightclubbing a few times, which was very interesting. They pay people there to come try to drink with you and get you to keep having fun, and that was the whole.
Prostitutes.
We always made it back to the hotel. We always not quite. More like Hooters girls that are there to
Hooters girls
drink with you. But it's part of their culture, and it's a much different thing. It was unique for sure. I never felt like I was in any danger in any way. I always felt like they were taking care of us. It was a very, very well organized event, to say the least. They had everything under control. They even wanted people to walk us across the street and to do things with us. They were like, okay, we'll just kind of be your handler. But at the same time, if we were really like, no, we don't want this, they were like, okay, go by yourself, fine. They were trying to help us, not trying to watch over us too much. So I felt good about it. Anyways, as far as the event itself, we got to play virtual reality on this New Horizons stage. It was really, really cool. They had this whole virtual reality setup so you can somewhat see us in a third-person mixed reality kind of view from the audience, as well as on the top screen. They had each player and the main screen. And of course, Final Assault has a really, really well-organized spectator view. So they've got people that are moving the cameras around within the view so that you can actually kind of see cinematic views while the game's going on. Which was very, very nice to see. It was a good way to bring the audience in. Somewhat confusing, I know, for some people, which is something that they're going to continue to work on, I'm sure. But anyways, I guess I asked you previously, what you thought about the whole tournament, and you asked me why I didn't win.
I did ask that. It was a bit rude, to be honest. I actually muted myself a little bit this time. I went at you. I said, why didn't you win?
Yeah, well,
Caleb. We were very disappointed.
Well, I'll go less into my excuses at this point in time. But the whole point of this is I guess you have to prepare for an RTS game. A real-time strategy is something that takes not only preparation, it takes a lot of knowledge of the community and what your teammates are going to be playing like, what character they're going to be, and what style they have. So preparation is very, very important. One problem for me is the last 2 months I didn't have much time for preparation. I was traveling, I was working, excuse. I was not the best player to win this tournament. The best player, of course, was sadly it's Bradley, and he came away with first place. Not only did he prepare, he had a lot of hours put into it. He was researching the other opponents. He was watching their streams. He was seeing what they were doing. I'm sure he was even looking at my Steam from time to time. But not only did he come away with the victory, the gold medal, we got Derval, which was second place. He is Alan Kamara. I can't even say his last name. He is basically another VR esports competitor. He's played a lot of Unspoken. He played Echo Arena. I know he played even Onward a lot. So he's a great competitor all around. And of course, he got second place here in the Final Assault tournament. So third place was Dlo E, who's a Korean player, and he is a very, very big streamer there. He's a very fun guy, great at karaoke, and so I mean, all three people that came out in the top deserved to be there. They had a lot of practice. They put in the time, which is something you have to do for a game like this. So sincerely, congratulations to all of them. I'm happy to share at least the beginning stage with them, walking out there in the opening ceremony, and to watch them during the final ceremony was really, really nice. Sponge, RC, why didn't you win? What I can say is I do feel like a winner. I got to get a Final Assault jersey with the American flag, and I'll show this. I know you guys have seen this already.
Yeah, I'm acting surprised. Wow.
Yeah. We got the Reality Check VR on there, and yep, we got another jersey. We got the Samsung Smilegate sponsor So yeah, just getting the jerseys was cool enough.
Dude, those are priceless. I mean, that is awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, first place got to walk away with, I think, a 10K prize pool. Second place, 5K. Third place, 2K.
Well, and I'll say just getting the experience, man.
I got the experience. I got to go to China. I got one of these little passes. I got a bag.
That is so freaking cool.
And a water bottle.
And we now can say that we have a professional cyber athlete amongst the VR.
I mean, that's right. Something, isn't it? I mean, you're kind of like VR pioneer in the whole VR esports stuff, because there's not been much of this.
Exactly.
A lot of people I think got offered to do things like this, and luckily I was able to be a part of it. So I know that it was. Yeah, I'm so fortunate and honored to be a part of it. I'm so fortunate to be able to have my name in that pool, even though I didn't come away in the top 3. I tied for 5th with Chari, and her and I will just walk away strong together.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Cherry. Yeah, I actually got to. That was one of the few matches I actually got to watch because, like I said earlier, I mean, when you guys were playing, unfortunately for us over here, it was like 3, 4 in the morning.
It was late.
It was definitely late, but and I gotta say, I did actually catch a little bit of each one of you guys playing, and I really enjoyed what I saw. You guys both gave it your all, and the game. I mean, just watching the little battles go down was insane. It was intense. I mean, it was insane. It was really cool.
That's one thing too, is like, not only is it the old game, like playing at home where you're kind of just trying to do the best that you can, but being on stage, and it was very hot there. There was no air conditioning, so we're sweating in our headsets, and you got your crowds are watching you.
Yes.
So it was very, very nerve-wracking the entire time, trying to just kind of keep your composure. I know all the competitors were battling a little bit. I even get a little bit of a shake going, and we were using the Vives, which I'm usually using the Rift at home, so it was a different hardware than I'm used to, and excuses. No doubt the best competitors are the ones who won the matches. That's the absolute truth. One problem is that I didn't feel very confident when I was playing it because of the lack of practice. The guys at Phaserlock in Texas, they are such a great little community building this game. They're listening to the players. They're updating and changing things. So the game had even had updates and changes from the time that I played in the North American qualifier. And you have to practice with those things. You have to see how people are using the different characters to be able to be the best at it. And that's one thing that I did, I guess, when I was first playing it, is that I was originally one character that you should not be in the tournament, and I didn't really care. I just wanted to have some fun. So I played more for fun than I did for, I guess, competitive reasons. At the same time, I didn't have the competitive knowledge that my competitors did have, and that's the reason I had to do that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about some other things here, because not only did I get to do this trip, but I guess I can be transparent about that, is that I was so fortunate that WCG actually took me on the trip. They
you mean they actually paid for you to go there? They paid
for me to go there.
So
unbelievable.
And so they gave me a pass there.
What the hell?
And the T-shirt.
I unfortunately didn't win, so I didn't get a prize pool. I did get a T-shirt. I got 2 T-shirts.
You got like really cool.
So I got this amazing experience, and I gotta say, getting this experience, some people say, well, how did you get to be a part of this? And I guess because there's a lot of these things on how do people get some of the things that they get, and so transparently, like, how did I get to be a part of this? I asked them. I said, did you guys see that I was in previous VRSpies? Did you see that I was playing Echo Arena for 2 years? Did you see that I was in Unspoken tournaments, or that I did the Brass Tactics tournament? Because I've played a lot of VRSports at this point in time. I've won some tournaments, and I've played a lot of regionals. But they were like, no, we didn't actually know that you did those things at all. We were looking for people to play. You were active in the Discord. You were active in responding to the emails. You were active into looking for this kind of stuff, because I'm on the internet trying to ask for who wants this stuff, who's looking for people to play, who's looking for people to play esports games. I'm constantly trying to figure that who wants help, because that's what I love doing. I love playing these things. And not only that, but helping out developers. And so I know they reached out to many people. I know they reached out to bigger tubers and to other content creators. And I was fortunate enough to be selected as among other people. And that's why I got to be part of it.
So you bought your way in with your nice community-minded attitude, you son of a bitch.
I mean, yes. I mean, that's just what the hell, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Gosh.
So Unfortunately, even being an esports competitor isn't what got me in. It's just being a part of the community and talking and being positive. I would say showing a positive attitude because I'll tell you guys, right, we're among friends right here. We don't always have the greatest days. We don't always feel the best, but when you're talking publicly or when you have a public voice, you kind of respond, or you put on that face and try to be positive. Not a fake one. By no means is it fake, but you put your best foot forward. And when you don't have that, you kind of just stay a little bit silent and you wait for that moment, so I certainly try to
convey
convey the best attitude as I can forwards, whether I always feel that way or not. That's when I don't feel that way, it's time for me to be quiet. So
I know that.
But yeah, let's talk about some of this a little bit. We've got some
got some comments
over here,
coming
people
in.
talking in chat.
I mean, I can sort of I can top and tail it. I mean, I think really this has been a sort of long running issue for me personally. I've always been very against the concept of people buying subs, and more specifically when we talk about ethics of YouTuber behavior, I don't like the idea that people get paid and don't disclose it. I've got no problem with people getting paid. You just got to say this is a paid promotion, right? And most people do. Some people don't. Now, I've kind of let it lie because it's an unethical behavior, but it's not really killing anyone. And I've sort of softened a bit on all of this, and I know people do it. I've heard people doing it, and I just sort of leave it alone, really. But actually now on Twitter, there's a few people that have sort of jumped in and sort of taken up arms against this kind of activity quite aggressively. And there's quite a few Twitter conversations going on, which you really should search out and read. It's quite interesting. And I think people are getting caught up in the crossfire a little bit who probably aren't anything to do with it. And I still think it's a valid concern, right? Because if people are paying for subs, and if people are trying to build their profile in order to get free stuff or get paid to do reviews, then that's really questionable activity. But what I want to know is really, do people think that this is a widespread issue? Or, is it something we should be worried about? That's the question. To you guys. You've gone really quiet. You're not getting paid to be here, are you?
No. It's just raining dollar bills on me right now. Look, yeah. All right. So in essence, yes, I have been on a few trips. Okay. I mean, yes, Oculus has paid to fly me to OC5. They paid to fly me to PAX East, and but are they buying me? No. Absolutely not.
I agree.
I mean,
wouldn't you say that by getting the trip that you're being bought, because now you have to say positive things about them to want to continue to do new trips?
You don't have to say positive things
but if you didn't say positive things, you wouldn't get the trip.
But then you don't get to do new trips.
Get the trips. Right, yeah, exactly.
So it's a bit of a psychological...
here's the kicker. Here's the kicker there. I say positive things all the time about everybody, and I don't get to go... I didn't get any of the new hardware, so...
No.
No. It doesn't really matter, So here's... so that's I don't. The truth is it doesn't really. I guess yes, people could of course be swayed by getting free things by somebody, but that goes for anything and everything at all times of life, everywhere. And if people can see right through you, they can see that you're of course doing those kinds of things, then it's going to very quickly ruin your channel. It's going to ruin your reputation. So that's something. That's something that I've always used Oculus stuff since DK2. I mean, I used to try the DK1 even though I didn't own one, and I used to play with it. DK2 I used to have, and then of course CV1 I've been playing with that. So when of course the Rift S or the Oculus Quest comes out, of course I'm going to play those things. Of course I'm going to want to see those things and try them out. It's not a surprise, to me or anybody that of course would watch my channel. At the same time, people who are uninformed who watch my stuff, like I talk about the Rift S in one video, and they're like, oh, he's clearly being bought here. He's not saying negative things about it, and he's only kind of saying positive stuff. And the truth is there. It's like, well, because I didn't have negative stuff to say, I didn't own one. I didn't have one.
Exactly.
I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't know about.
Well, and I think that's kind of what I was trying to get at is okay. So Oculus, I started my channel as with an Oculus Rift DK2, and I have always used their products. So it is obviously the product I've chosen, and I've shown them, and I've featured them on my channel. So obviously, if they invite me to something, I'm going to go. And if I say positive things, well, it's probably because I already liked their product in the beginning, and that's probably why they invited me to go. So, it's not anybody being bought or anybody's opinion being bought if you're already on board.
And we're talking about just kind of outliers here of the basics of just you and I right now. And Chris, what were you about to say?
No, I agree. I think obviously these companies gravitate towards people that already have a positive attitude. So Oculus reached out to me a year or two ago, and indeed Greg at the time. We got invited to a load of events.
Yeah.
We hung out with celebrities and met a whole bunch. Met the Chelsea football team and all these people I didn't know. I don't even know they were the Chelsea football team. I just stood next to them at a bar. They had nice looking wives. But I got invited to these places. They did give me something. They gave me a Rift at the end of it. I already owned a Rift. They said have another one. I went okay. So I used that as my cockpit Rift. I don't talk about that too much. So is that an ethically questionable behaviour? I don't know. But everyone also knows that even though I'm a big fan of the hardware, I'm actually quite critical of the Oculus store and the software because I think effectively their store sucks. Is that the reason I don't get invited back to Oculus events? I would sincerely doubt that is the case. I think I don't get invited back to Oculus events because people with who don't stream as much as me, don't get as many hits, they don't care about. It's all about the stats, right? I could be dissing the Oculus store on a daily basis and getting 60,000 hits each time, and they'd still invite me back because it's not about my opinion, it's about my reach. That's the thing. They're trying to win me over with my
reach. Because they want to be able to, and of course, if they want to feel like they could sway your opinion, then they would want to invite you just so they could try to sway your opinion and get that reach. I do completely agree with you. I believe that that's true. I've seen them do that in the past with creators who have been very critical of them, inviting them and doing things with them. So let's and moving away just from Oculus, I guess, just kind of in general, and the purpose of just people getting things, because absolutely, when you start creating content, you start getting free things. Here's the big thing: when you start making content, guys, and you make videos, people reach out to you and say, "Hey, do you want my free stuff?" So you can make a video about it, and then you have a choice,
every day, like every day,
yes or no. And that's why a lot of people start creating content. But I guess one thing I want to say is that I don't think that people should start doing YouTube ever to be a job or to be a living. I think YouTube is a hobby. YouTube's a freaking video platform channel where we put videos of ourselves up, and some people are going to do it for a business. Some people are going to do it and be excellent, make a lot of money at it, and that's amazing. That's fine. That's not why people should get into this, because then the community, I think, is going to suck. And this has always been a hobby for me. I can be very transparent. I make like $110 every single month on YouTube. $110.
Wow, every month. Wait, I make $110 every like 3 months.
People can check it for themselves. People can check it for themselves.
I make about $30,
and that doesn't pay my electric bill. It doesn't pay my electric bill. Years ago, I was making not more money, but I was getting a lot more views, than I am right now. And that's just it. Like so YouTube, if I'm consistent with it, and each of those videos, takes me 5 hours to edit, and I try to put up 3 or 4 a month. So I'm getting paid pennies for the hour. It's something that I can be very upfront. YouTube does not make me money at all. It's these wonderful opportunities that I get by being a part of the community, by being able to hopefully teach every once in a while and give some good things to the community, and maybe get something back from it by a free product or a trip somewhere. Which I will gladly say yes to. At the same time, you need to be transparent about it. And this is the big kicker here, transparency. So whether people are getting paid or not, there's a big thing of getting a free trip and then getting paid for it. So if somebody says, hey, Caleb, you get to go to the WCG and you get to be a part of this event, and we're going to take care of everything for you, that's great. I still spent hundreds of dollars of my own money just to be there. Exactly. Just to do all kinds of little things, just to get there's all kinds of times where I had to spend my own money. I was at no point being paid to actually be at the event or to lose work or to not be working, so there's a difference. Some people do get actually paid lump sums to go to events, whether it's 5, 10, 15, whether they're getting paid thousands of dollars to go to an event. That is different from somebody who just gets to go to an event. Now, that is a sponsored person. And generally, when Oculus works with those kinds of people, you'll see, a lot of videos right now, they put hashtag Oculus partner, hashtag Oculus sponsored.
Bingo.
They literally have to put the hashtag sponsored in those things. And Oculus makes them do it. If Oculus doesn't make their partners do it, then Oculus gets in trouble. So here's one.
Well, it's Federal Trade Commission.
Yeah, if anybody who's working with Oculus, anybody who's working with these big companies, especially if they're based in America, they absolutely are putting these hashtag sponsored tokens in there, and if they're not, they're getting in trouble. So any VR YouTubers, anybody who's like us, they would have to do that. If you've noticed, not one of my videos says hashtag Oculus sponsored. Not one of my videos says Oculus partner. Not one of them. Because I've never been paid by
Okay,
Oculus to do any of these videos.
You're talking
Not
about
once.
US,
I
right?
don't even have a Rift S. I don't have an Oculus Quest.
Yeah, so
well, as far as I know, I don't know the laws in all the other countries.
In the EU, there is a kind of advertising commission, and I forget exactly how it works, and basically means that you can't dress something up as your own personal opinion if it's a paid sponsorship. It has to be declared, and YouTubers are absolutely not getting looked at right now, but I absolutely know that they are the next on the list that this EU Commission are going after. Absolutely, right? So if you're a big YouTuber in Europe, this is totally, you need to be checking that box because they will come for you, and it absolutely will.
I was gonna say, it's right there. It's right there. Just check the box.
Historically as well, they can just look back.
So here comes another thing too. We've got to differentiate here because there's two kinds of sponsored activity that can happen on the internet. I personally do not do either, but I would be down for one of them. And what this is you can have, like, for example, if I was going to make a video about, let's say, I'm not going to use about the index, about the Steam index, right? I'm going to make an overview unboxing about the Steam index.
I would totally sell out for index.
But let's say the VPN, some VPN company wants to pay me money for my videos because I get lots of views, right?
Okay.
So the VPN company, like Linus Tech does this a lot, right? So for example, at the beginning of the video, I'm going to say, hey, this video, we have a sponsor is ExpressVPN, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, hey, you like that Express? So I'll say ExpressVPN, blah, 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 blah. They're sponsoring the video. And then I would go right into talking about, the Steam index.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I start doing that, that video is not sponsored by Steam. It's not sponsored by Index. It is a sponsored video because somebody paid me for this video, but it's not sponsored by Steam. So that video is not going to get a sponsored tick.
I see.
It's not.
I see, yeah.
It's not going to get one. But now let's say I'm doing a video on Steam Index, but Valve wants to pay me for it. And they're like, Caleb, here's $5,000, make a video. I'm like, cool, thanks, Steam. That video is absolutely sponsored now by Steam. It's sponsored by Valve.
Okay. Yeah, but then bring that down. Bring that down to the level that small YouTubers are working at. This is where you get contacted by a Chinese company and they're saying, we've got this crappy VR game that we're trying to push and we're going to pay you 200 euros to do a review, right, of your own opinion. And
those are big no's.
I mean, we get these. I'm not joking. I get them
all
every
the time.
Single day. I've never accepted one.
So here's the big thing, though. I back in the day, it was always just we will let you, if you would just like a free key or keys for your followers, we will please play our game, and that's all it was for years. And then recently, over the last couple of years, 2016, 2017, 2018, it started being like, hi, we're a small, developing community. We don't have much money. How much would you charge? And it's like free. We're free.
And I kind of have an insight on that, though. I mean, if you think about it, though, from when we came up, guys, it was in the early days. It was in the developer days. Sure. So it was in the beginning. And now VR is starting to become more commercialized. And then these companies are starting to expect that.
Right. So here's the thing to say with that. If a company expects that, which they do, like, I completely agree with you. There are some, not all. Okay.
Not all. Not all.
So I work for a development company that absolutely.
That's why we're getting these emails. So.
Right. I was just saying. So I work for a development company that has a zero budget for that because we do all organic and we will do ads and we've got a lot of other things that we would rather spend money on. Like swag bags. We'd rather create swag bags and things to give out to people that creates media as well as content than as opposed to paying content creators. As far as the development company goes, now as far as manufacturers or people who are creating objects, that's all up to them, and also it's up to the creator. If a creator wants to take money or be in this way, that's up to them. Now if somebody who like Chris, if you make a video,
it's a raw data t-shirt. Yeah, I got Eden.
If you do a Survios video,
I just realized. That's my credibility right out the window. Wearing free t-shirts.
It's gone. You're already promoting Survios right there, man. And then we got Ready Player One. I've got Final Assault.
We're all promoting something.
Right now, and we all are not getting paid for it. Right? None of us. No. But I guess the point is, if a company like a video game or that makes a game and they specifically want to pay me for that game, and I make a video talking about that game, that's completely fine. It's just a commercial and it has to say sponsored.
And if you do that in the beginning, that's exactly.
If you don't, that is absolutely a gray area, and people, if they find out about it, it's not going to be good for the person. But you know what? From an outside perspective, I don't really care what other people are doing because that's not what I do. I'm going to focus and be the good person because I personally do believe that people that don't do good practices don't live happily, and then they get found out about or whatever. So like I think that good practices will prevail, and truly I really do believe that. So I just
well, and it's like you were talking about with the studio, and I mean, we can kind of bring that back to the discussion we're having about the YouTube stuff. It's all about the organic growth, man. And I mean, if you're doing it right, then you're growing right. You're growing your community, and you're growing organically.
Right. So have either of you ever paid for subs?
No. Never.
Because I know every time I pay for subs, it never works.
Yeah, I know, right? Because then you get that big, massive drop. Now,
I've kind of paid for subs. I've kind of paid for subs.
Now here's what's weird though. You still get bots subbing to your channel all the freaking time. And YouTube does a yearly purge. I mean, once, twice a year, you're going to see if you watch your stats. Like over on TubeBuddy, you'll see this massive dip.
See, that's just funny. When that purge happens, I always lose like 12 people. So the bots don't like me as much.
I know. I lost loads. I mean, I lost like 200 subs one time. Just on this bot purge. I was like, what the hell?
One purge couple of years ago,
I was
like
600, you know what does it?
600.
I just want to qualify why I said I have paid for subs, and people will take that as a soundbite and then use that against me. So I'm really sorry about that. I have paid for subs, but let me qualify that. That's like standing in front of a green screen, isn't it? Saying something like that. But no, what I
paid blood, sweat, and tears.
But in all fairness, when you do like key giveaways, it's kind of like paying for subs, isn't it? Because you're really kind of attracting people to sub to your channel for a free key.
So you're going on a deeper level now. You're going on a deeper level now. This is just
maybe
clickbait in general. This is just clickbait in general now. Okay, YouTubers in general, the moment you're a YouTuber, which is why please don't call me one, then you are definitely a clickbait lover because I mean, to be popular on this platform, and it's not a riff or like it's not a diss at anybody at all. You have to be kind of clickbait.
You do.
And your content. Otherwise, you're not going to get the views. And whether you have good content or bad content, if you're not clickbaity, you're not going to, you're not getting those views.
5 lasers.
Okay, so here's a big truth. Like for me, I think I've told you guys this in the past, but like, so my dad always raised me to kind of like be behind the scenes. He raised me to kind of watch other people and to help out, right? And truly, so he's like he was like, don't be flashy, don't be like. So like I was always in theater, but I was part of the people building the sets. I did event production for years. I was always wearing black behind the curtain. I was always behind the soundboard. I'm used to being at these events that I'm going to now, but I'm used to just hiding up in the rafters, doing the rigging. I'm just so now that I'm actually part of the events and kind of in front of the cameras as opposed to behind it, I see that duality of the different worlds. But it's so interesting now, I guess, to what am I trying to say here, to be seen is I don't know. There's so much of a different expectation on people who are, I guess, looked at. I don't know. You guys.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm losing.
If you have followers and you have reach, and that all of a sudden people expect more of you, and I can sort of draw on my own experience of this. I know very little about virtual reality. There, I've come out. I'm honest, right? I just love it, right? And so occasionally when I'm streaming and stuff, I'll start talking about what I think is happening in virtual reality. I'll start talking about some of the technical stuff, and I'll kind of drop the ball a bit because I'll immediately expose my lack of understanding of virtual reality. And people go, but hold on, you're like quite a big...
Lasers.
Yeah, like lasers. But people will like say, hang on, you're quite a big YouTuber. You've been around a while. I've heard of you, and I know more than you about VR. How is that possible? And they feel really upset with you. So people really do put you on a pedestal. You know what I mean? They put you, they elevate you, and you don't necessarily deserve it. You know, of course you don't deserve it. We're just normal people like everyone else. But as soon as you're in the public eye,
I'm just a dude playing VR games,
people just,
man.
They think you must therefore be slightly better in some way, better at games or better with the knowledge or whatever. But actually, no. I'm just really here because I've got nothing better to do on a Sunday night. Really.
My favorite thing is dumbing myself down when I meet people to let them know, we're on the same page.
You do that on purpose?
We are on the same
you really do that on purpose?
Page.
You do it
so well.
So
it's so convincing.
Yeah. I
You suck.
Oh my god.
No, it's, seriously though, like it's like the best thing is being able to be like, everything that like you don't know about is something that I don't know about. We're figuring a lot of stuff out together.
I'm being honest.
for years.
I'm learning.
But there's also a difference with when it comes to looking in the virtual reality community to be a content creator as opposed to wanting a job in the VR community, because right now there is an abundance of jobs. If you want a job in the VR community, there is so many things that you can do to actually make the VR better, other than just making videos
Viva
about
hiring
it or expecting things by making.
If you're a marketing guru out there, Viva looking for a head of marketing or something, like a really big, well-paid job.
Yeah. So, I gotta say this real quick too, because I don't want to be negative in any way. I want there to be so many VR content creators. I want there to be hundreds and hundreds of people on YouTube making videos of things.
So many.
Not dozens. Not dozens. I want there to be hundreds, because the more of people there are, the more the games get out there, the more the exposure the apps get out there. The people that are going to do the specific jobs, we do have specific people out there that are kind of doing full-time VR, and you know what? Props to them. Wonderful.
For real, man.
There's not going to be a lot of those people. There's not going to be a lot of those people. So for the mainstream, I think there needs to be lots and lots of people making the content, pushing things out there for these developers actually to make the money that they need to make to actually be able to support their families and be successful. Because right now the development companies that are making these games, they're not successful because of the sales, except for the very few out there. Of course we have Beat Sabers and a few that are making the sales that can sustain, but it's so few that are doing that. I mean, I work for a company that's got some of the top sales on one of their games, and I'll tell you, it's for even a big company. It's just, you have to have several of these things to be able to work, or you have to have several different projects. Luckily, my company is they do the VR games and the arcades and the development and the, reaching out to the schools and the education and stuff. But that's the only way that they can sustain themselves. You can't do it just on games alone right now. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And of course, if you think that development companies just have lots of money to give to content creators, that's certainly a farce. It's not true. I've talked to many.
So many.
Yeah, they don't have a lot. Their budgets are shoestring as it is, just to pay their own developers, their own artists, and what it is, as opposed to paying thousands enough to a content creator. But here's the big kicker.
That's what I was gonna say. I guess there's just so many misconceptions. Misconceptions.
That's the helix, or the road coming to a point right now with my two conversations, which is that developers not have that much money. But even when they do make good sales, the sales aren't really enough to justify paying off specific, prices to individual people. Because let's say I'm one of the better sales games that month or on Steam right now for even that year, you're gonna have to give me a large return for that to be worth it for me as a developer, paying one content creator for those kinds of things. But does it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? Sure. Should I get mad about it? If it works for that developer? No. But from a community standpoint, I just want those things to be transparently put out there.
Yeah, I think it should be
only when they need to be. Like I said, only when they make sense. But like we've said, and that's something that's gonna it's gonna have to be that way. So I really don't think that this is gonna be something that we have to worry about too long. I guess I need to start looking at chat and see what people think. Because I don't know what everyone else.
I mean, when I did a kind of how to be successful on YouTube video recently, I did talk about this, and one point I did make is that if you were to accept the money, and even then obviously hopefully tell people that it was a paid promotion, you would ironically probably get more hits and much more reach, because the developer wants that video to be successful, so they will promote it for you.
Time. Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons I feel my channel hasn't been too successful. Had I taken the money, I feel I could have done better. Had I taken the money and tried harder and done more streaming and done better quality videos and a whole bunch of other stuff, I would be more successful and been better looking and 20 years younger. And so
I've been trying this whole time to get a Coca-Cola sponsorship, in case you guys are wondering.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Looking around the room.
Let's see here. Creative. I'm
trying hard.
So I'm just gonna start picking up stuff all around me.
UKRifter's talking about how he could have done better, and I'm just over here thinking, please, Coca-Cola, watch this.
Yeah.
Team Coke.
We've had some positive feedback in chat. I think people appreciate that we're being open and honest about this stuff. I mean, one of the points we were talking about was buying subs. I don't think that happens that much. I do know people that have done it. Generally speaking, if you do it, you will lose them during the next bot purge, so it's a massive waste of money, so don't do it.
Exactly what you just said. YouTube's going to see that there's these accounts that are just subbing and not doing anything other than subbing because they're just bot accounts, and they're going to get purged. So
you can lose your account.
People
people have bought. I've never bought subs. People have bought subs that certainly are in the VR world, but I don't think it's something that regularly happens now. Currently, I think
I don't either.
I think that's pretty much gone, and I think whoever did do it, whomever it was, it lost those subs because at this point in time, it doesn't really, it can't help you, like you said, with all the algorithms and the bots that are going on. The biggest thing in that is that, you know, for me, my subs don't watch my videos, guys. They don't care.
No,
mine never came back.
And if
you, they watched one video.
Because I was actually going to make that point. Looking at my stats, it's literally like 3.6% of my actual subscribers watch my videos. Everything is coming from Google search. Everything is coming from external sources, YouTube search. You know, so it's really not about your subs.
I'm actually a 3D printing channel. I get way more views on my 3D printing videos than I do my VR stuff. So guys, I'm actually a 3D printing channel.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There you go.
Yeah, it's just it's a funny world, but no, I mean, yeah, anybody in chat that has any questions.
3D printing spies, yes, 3D printing spies.
I love being able to just put whatever I want on my channel. I think, remember years ago, you guys, we would always debate, like, should we just, you know, what VR only, you know, what do you guys think on the channel, what's best? And I think since day one, I've been like, whatever I want. Today, we're doing a travel video.
No, seriously. And that's why I just pulled this up, and I'm not kidding. I mean, goes hand in hand. Yeah, so Creative sent me this cool little external Sound Blaster G6 high-res gaming digital audio card, you know, and I'm thinking, I'm still trying to figure out how I could tie that into VR to put it on my channel. And I'm like, why? Why am I worried about that? If somebody sent me this cool thing and I like it and I want to show the world, well, why does it have to be VR? Why does it have to be VR only? So,
Twitter video.
I'm going to do some motorbike stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Screw it. I'm going to get a GoPro and I'm going to go motorbiking.
Yeah,
exactly.
And anybody that follows me on
YouTube, you know,
Twitter, Instagram, they know I got this ladder recently that's like a telescopic ladder. It like pulls out. It's so cool.
How the hell are you going to get that into one of your videos?
No, so I already made a video. I already made a video of it. See, Don's already seen it. I already made it.
I saw it. I thought it was great, man.
I didn't put it on a YouTube video, but I put it in a video. But did anybody ask me to do that video? Heck no. I just wanted to show it off. I thought it was really cool. You know, I thought it was really cool.
I do some of those. Yeah, I put those on my Facebook. Like, I've got a whole different Facebook.
But of course, some people will look at that and they'll say, "Man, Caleb's getting paid off by this ladder company again." You know, making these ladder videos.
Yeah, that ladder.
You're the ladder king. The ladder king. Yeah, the ladder king.
All right, last call for questions, guys. Last call for questions, because actually,
seriously, I have a family barbecue.
I've got to go and paint the house.
I'm gonna make some nachos.
He's got to make some
nachos.
Okay, I gotta say, when if you saw me on the WCG board, on the official board on their website, if you clicked on my name, it said like reality check, blah blah blah, freelance, works for a VR company, something loves nachos, and I was like, yes, they found
awesome.
I don't even know how they found that. They put that was one of the things they knew about me, and I was so proud of that.
Very strange. They should know.
I made it, guys. I made it.
I don't even know that about you.
We talked. Oh, yeah, wait. So, E- Eric Hartley just put in the chat. I did want to mention about tomorrow, the original Half-Life on the Quest, guys, with motion controls. So
That's
Dr. Beef, he has been instrumental in keeping all of those cool games like Doom and Quake running for years on the Gear VR and on the Go. And now he's porting some of that stuff over to Quest, and you're going to be able to use sideload VR, which is an awesome thing, by the way. A little plug for them. Just started using that to sideload things to my Quest. So starting tomorrow, I think 9 a.m., 10 a.m. My time, you can actually get that and sideload it in and check it out. And for me, I think you guys know this. This is that point where I'm going to do the old man of VR thing for just 1 second.
You usually
my
do.
First home, I know I have to. It's in my DNA.
It's in the contract.
My first home VR experience, and you guys know that, was riding the train into Black Mesa in the original Half-Life in the old eyeglasses with some janky head tracker. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing that again in the Quest. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm excited for you. Someday, I will save up, and I think you guys think it's worth getting a Quest.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might now with all this side load stuff. I'm now thinking I might get it. I mean, the fact that now you can get Pavlov in there, you can get now this Half-Life.
You can Pavlov's. I mean, and Caleb, you were competing last week, but we talked a lot about this. Like, I'm about to start a whole new series. Man, if you got a yard or a space, and you know this because I've seen you do it even with the Rift S and a backpack out on the beach, it changes the game, guys. I still preach this, that the infinite freedom to just walk, going into developer mode, turning the boundaries off, and just having a big enough space to walk tricks something in your brain, and all of a sudden, no matter if it's mobile, no matter if it's muted textures, it becomes more real. You're on the damn holodeck. If you haven't had that experience, grab a Quest, go do it now. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool.
In my hashtag Oculus not sponsored video, I did get to run around the video on the beach
not sponsored.
with the S and the Quest, and it was a lot of fun. That was the last time. A lot of people don't know this, but that was the last time I got to try both of those. The S and the Quest was in those videos. So people assume that I just own those headsets. No, I took those headsets off in those videos and I put them down. I never put them on again, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm excited to. I think I might jump on one of those. I'm going to save up for one of those.
I gotta tell I really like my Quest. I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do, but I'm finding new and interesting use cases for it every day.
Okay, that's good to know. Right, we're gonna call it. I think there, unless there's some final questions. I mean, the only point here is VRBug as mentioned Tetris Effect being absolutely amazing. Haven't tried it yet myself, but it does look really beautiful.
Looks really
from
cool.
the PlayStation VR title, that wasn't it originally? So it's got moved across. Is that Steam or Oculus or both?
I had a dream. I had a dream that I got a PlayStation VR. I don't even know if it was given to me or maybe somebody like paid me for it. But I had a dream where I had one.
Somebody paid you?
But I didn't have the actual PlayStation, and I was like, what do I do? Okay, that was the guy. I just had to tell you guys about it. Yeah. So, anyways, that was good talking to you guys. Next week, I definitely want to talk a little bit. I do want to say, of course, before we go, thanks to Phaserlock and to the WCG for putting up such a great show. I'm going to make a video for that as well. And next week, I would like to potentially have on some of the players. So we'll talk about that. Good.
But yeah, dude, I think that'd be great.
Super duper.
That's some fun times. So, all right, guys. Thanks for spending some time with us. If you guys have any questions, we'll see you next week.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.